Hello, my name is Xue. In this video, I'll be demonstrating how to create environments in Unity. Here, I have an empty 3D project. Before we get started, let's add some packages. Go to Windows, Package Manager. Right here, go to Unity Registry, wait for it to patch. And in the search bar, type in terrain. And the first result will be terrain tools. Click install. The terrain tools is used to create more detailed terrains in Unity. Now that the terrain tools is downloaded, we would like to add some assets in our Unity project. The asset that we'll be using will be this one, the asset samples from Asset Store. You can just click on this button to go to the Asset Store to add into the Unity project, or I will leave the link in the description below. Since I already have the assets, I'll just go to my assets and the terrain asset sample asset pack. Since I already downloaded it, I will just import it into the project. This asset pack would give you various textures and grass to use in your terrain. There's also some new cool brushes in addition to the standard ones. Here, choose what you want to import from the asset pack. For me, I will just go and choose everything here and click import. Now that I finished importing the asset pack, we will import the texture for the tree. I will leave the link in the description below for this tree texture. Right now, just click import again. And just choose the available asset that you want to use. And click import. After importing all the assets, we will start creating terrains. There are a few ways to create terrains. First, I will show you how to create through right click in 3D objects, and there's a terrain button here. This will create a default terrain right here. And there will also be the terrain component in the terrain collider. The terrain collider is used to collide with the characters and other meshes if you need like the colliders in them. And the other way to create terrain is through Windows, and we go down to terrain, and here's the terrain toolbox. Here you will see the terrain width, the length, the height. You can change the numbers around to fit your needs, but I will create a terrain with the default values. Yeah. So after creating the terrains, we will start painting. So first I will delete this terrain right here and go to inspector. Right here you will see the terrain group and the actual terrain right here. Right. to actually start painting terrain, we'll go to the paint terrain right here. In this section, there will be different ways to start painting. For now, I will show you how to use the raised or lower terrain. Right here, there will be various brushes to shape your terrain, like how you want it to look. I'll go with this brush for now. As you can see, you can start painting your terrain by clicking and dragging. Right, there are a few shortcuts that is very useful when creating terrains. The A button is to increase or decrease your strength of the brush. So right now the strength is 49%. You can just drag around to increase the strength and lower them. And there's also when you press S, it will increase the brush size. So it depends on how big you want your terrain to look. And there's also rotating terrain where you press D, like so. If you don't like these shortcuts, you can always go to your shortcut manager by going to edits and then shortcuts. Here you can go to the terrain and you change these around. I'll just show you ASD right here to just increase the strength, size, and the rotation of on the brush. You can also use control to lower your terrain, like so. You just drag them around. Right. There's also brush spacing. It's used to create spacings around each strokes of this brush. So, for example, when I use this brush right here, when I increase the spacing, like so, you can tell the spacing is increased. While when you decrease, it automatically increase this. Like there's no spacing around here, right? There's also the brush scatter. It scatters your brush on the paints around, like so. Yep. For now, I'll just start creating some random terrain just to demonstrate. Just a heads up, it won't be looking nice. It's just a demonstration right now. So go back to this brush and I'll just start painting. Alright, after finish painting, I'll just show you other cool features, such as paint texture, not paint texture yet, but set height. With this, you can scroll down and choose how high you want your terrain to be, and it will set all the values of these created terrain to be that specific height. So for now, I can just do like 50. Like for this section, since it's like lower than 50, it will increase these terrain to that height. This feature is good for you when you want to create like flat lands and other stuff, like so. And for like this tall section, it will decrease the height to 50, like so. Right. Another cool feature is smoothing the height. You can smooth out how your terrain should look. You can just drag and click, or you can also, if you're not in this tab, you can just press Shift and drag around. It also smooths out your height. So you can also go to sculpting and create various other terrains. I will show you how to create a bridge. Another cool tip is it also tells you how to use the shortcuts and how to use them. Like right here it says control click to select the starting position of the bridge. So in this demonstration I will be going from here, and then when you release the control and click on another area, like so, it'll create a cool bridge if you want be able to walk over bridges and go through high places. Another cool features is erosion, where there's like hydraulic, thermal, wind. I'll go for hydraulic for now. This is to create a land, like a piece of land, where it has been exposed to long period waters for some time, so you can just create how the land looks after being exposed to water. So if you want to do like oceans and then the underground land, you can use this to shape out your underground, underwater spaces, terrains here. Right. This should be a decent terrain. And there's other feature that you can try out. So it's best to just go do each one and like, for example, this paint hole, you can use it to create different caves or do holes in your terrains. So it's best that you try out different features and fit your world and make it look nice. If you want to add more terrains to your Unity project, you can use this feature called neighboring terrains. You can just click one of these squares to add new terrains, like so. Just click one. Unity automatically connect these terrains seamlessly, like this. The height just smooths down, and you can start painting through these. Yeah. And then you can just increase the height, and then you can also paint throughout. One thing to note is right here, make sure your neighboring terrains have the same group ID. This way they can connect seamlessly. If not, they will have like this distortions. For example, if I change this terrain to 1, and then I start painting, let's see, I increase the brush size, decrease this, and just start painting. As you can see, there's like distortion in between these two terrains. But if the group ID is the same, make sure when you change your group ID and then you want to change it back, click reconnect, connect these terrains back together, and then we start painting. As you can see, there's no distortions. in between these terrains. But for this video, I'll just work on one terrains and just remove these. Also in this tab right here, you can also change your the width and height of your terrain, and you can also change these values in this section, terrain toolbox, where you can go to terrain settings, go to basic settings, not basic settings, but texture resolutions, and you can change these values around with the match resolutions. Alright, so let's start painting some trees and textures in this. So for textures, you can just go to paint textures and add layers. Right here, these layers are from the sample packs, so you can just choose them. For example, I choose some right here. There's some layers, and you can also remove the layers by clicking. But for now, let's add some layers in here. Some grass, also snows, and you can just start painting. For example, here, we're gonna add some grass around this. You can also do some snow. Yeah, just paint however you like to make the world look nice. But one thing to note from this is if you move like the layers around, your painting also changes. So make sure you get the correct layers and your values together. Now let's start by painting some trees here. First, you can edit trees. Add some trees. And now I'll just choose this tree from my sample packs that I had before and add. You can just add the trees by clicking here. As you can see, there's tree spawning. You can also change the brush size and to add like less trees in that area, or you can change the tree densities, increase some brush size to decrease the number of trees spawning in the area. You can also uncheck the lock width to height to get more varieties of trees. Let's say you want to add like a whole forest in this terrain. You can do mass place trees. Let's decrease the number and uncheck existing. As you can see, there's various trees around this whole terrain. And if you want to remove some trees here, let's say I want to remove these trees, you can click Control and then click. That's how you remove trees. Let's add another kind of tree here. You can also edit your trees, like what kind you want to change it to. Let's add another tree. And then you can also do the same thing, add it to the forest. Another thing to note when removing trees is when you select another type of tree and you're trying to
remove some this kind of trees here, you can't do it. You can only remove the same type. So you can remove this here, but not these here. But if you want to go back and remove, yeah, click and then drag around. And there you have it. That's how you add trees in your terrain. And finally let's add some grass here. Same way, you can there's two ways to add grass. There's the grass mesh, or you want to do the texture. For this video, I'll do the add grass texture. And just select your texture. Let's see. You can also change the color of the texture of the grass. And you click add. Now we can start painting the grass. So let's start zooming in. And let's increase the brush size. And just start painting the grass. Yep. So if you zoom out, you won't be able to see the grass, but if you zoom in, you can see it. Like the trees, when you click control and click drag, you can also remove these grass. And let's add another one. And this is how you create the grass. And also, like the trees, when you want to remove the grass, you click control and remove the same type. So for the second grass, I can only remove the second types, and at the first, I just remove the first. And for the last touch, let's add some wind zones. So wind zone is in the game object, and go to 3D objects and go to wind zone right here. Make sure to decrease these numbers so that your game doesn't look like a hurricane. Here. Alright, so let's test out our wind zone here. So just start the game. And go to scenes. As you can see from the trees, it start moving from using the wind zones. Just some simple subtleties in here. And this is how you create an environment in Unity. Thank you.